All right, hey folks, and we are live. I'm in Pennsylvania doing some pistol classes. It is Father's Day today. I'm away from my family. If you can't be with your father today, uh, yeah, that sucks. Anyway, hey, I was kicking around a thought today, and this is live. It's off the cuff, so bear with me just a little bit. But I wanted to talk about the different types of fathers that are out there, and really more of a force for good. Some of you have had deadbeat dads, and I think all of us kind of run against the ghost of our fathers in some way or another, whether that's for good or for bad. We run against the ghost of our fathers, who they were, how they treated us, what they said, their words. And that can be a force for good, driving us forward, or something that can really be debilitating. And so much so that, there's some anecdotal wisdom that we're cursed to become our parents in some way, or not necessarily cursed, but I mean, a lot of kids don't want to become their parents. When I'm people say I'm just like my dad, that's a compliment to me. I had a very healthy relationship with my dad. But I want to talk about the different types of fathers that are forces for good. So anyway, what I'm interested in, I suppose, is I'm trying to grow as a dad. I got a couple kids, and I want to be a real good dad. I want to learn from the positive stuff that my dad left with me. And there's a lot of positive. There's also some negative stuff, and I really started to realize it more as I'm a dad. And I'm like, my dad didn't do this with me. And I focus on the stuff that he did really well. And it's not until you're like a dad and you're trying to figure out this mess. And man, it's tough being a dad. You take it for granted. It can be really, really tough. So, yeah, I want to be able to balance out my kids in the fact that I don't think it can be overstated just how important the role of dad is in their kids. Knowing that there was an author, John Eldredge, who spoke about this vividly. Like every man carries a scar, and that scar came from their father in some way. And I'm probably butchering it, but I'm just saying, man, the, the role of fatherhood cannot be overstated. I am the man I am today because of my dad. And so a lot is owed to him. So I wanted to jump into kind of the different types of fathers. If you've had a real deadbeat dad, somebody who was just not there, or they left you, or they are abusive or something, that sucks. What the best thing you can do is learn from it and try to be the dad you always wish you had, so that you're not doomed to pass on that same junk in the same way to your kids, and you punish your kids because you have been punished and you're still hurting too. So it sucks. I'm sorry. But man, we got to muscle up. We got to man up as men and try to learn the good from our fathers, and also make up for the bad, right? So I want to go over the kind of the types of dads that are a positive role model, a positive influence. The first one is the provider dad, and this is a real good thing. I mean, I think part of the job is dad, and this will be real countercultural. This will be pretty traditionalistic, but it's just me. It's what I think, and I get to think what I get to think right now in this society. You can't do. I haven't done thought control yet. So anyway, I think part of what being a man is being a good protector and a good provider, and I could say a leader as well. But I want to center in on protector, provider. So there's provider dad. They put food on the table. They provide for their family and all the different aspects that provision might be there, and also protection. And that's just not physical protection alone. Yes, there's that, but also, I mean, have health insurance and life insurance, and give good wisdom, and don't let your daughter date the deadbeat person, and lock up your guns so they're not attacked, and make sure that you're trained up so in case Shredder and his Foot Clan attack your house, you're able to fend off the ninja horde, right? So anyway, protector, provider, dads. I think there's different needs that we have, when we're growing up as kids, and your kids have different needs as well that you've got to meet. And I think the provision aspect is important, but that's not nearly enough. Some of you had provider dads, and that's really their big claim to fame. Listen, what more do you want from me? I put food on the table, I work a job, but really they come home after their job, kind of just check out, are not emotionally available for the kid, and they're under the faulty assumption that it's all about providing, and that's their job. It's just provision, and that's not true. That ends up raising kids that resent you, and you can't buy the love. There's some kind of like neat little anecdotal whatever where it says kids spell love Time. Love spell kids time. And that means time spent, emotional availability, especially in their early formative years, 3, 4, 5 years old. That stuff's really, really important, and it continues to go on. When they're little kids, I remember watching my wife have these like just magnetic kind of moments where she was bonded to the kids, and it was really like this amazing thing. And my firstborn is a funny story. I actually thought he was dead. Well, I guess that's not funny. That's horrid. But in my head of like he was purple. No one warned me that babies were purple. Hey guys, if you don't have kids, kids come out purple, and they come out with like torpedo cone heads. And he had just such a weak cry. I wasn't ready for either. I'm like, oh, that kid's dead. And I immediately went into comfort the spouse mode. And she just like a marvel of maternal instinct, brought up that baby. And the baby was fine. I didn't know what to expect, and the kid was fine. And I loved my kid immediately, but there was something special mom and son had initially that I kind of warmed up into. And as the kids got a little bit older, 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, all of a sudden sons start shifting healthily away from mommies, and it becomes all about daddy. And men raise men. That's the best way to do it. Women are good at raising women. I can't raise a woman very good because I've never been a woman in a single day of my life. And so, and again, that's probably real countercultural and flag and safe spaces and you suck, John, and well, yeah, whatever. But I'm just kind of, these are my thoughts, and I get to have them. And as my kids get older, I'm pushing through and trying to figure out what all this means. But it's not sufficient to just be a provider, put food on the table, and offer protection. That's kind of the lowest form of meeting their needs. In fact, the psychologist Abraham Maslow in his hierarchy of needs, he put that physical security is the lowest base need. If you don't have that, that's all you can focus on. But going up the continuum as well, recognizing they have social needs, and they have affection type needs, and the highest is self-actualization, where we live as a society where it's all about who am I, and identity, and I am the clothes I wear, and things like that. And so it can, anyway, just there's a lot more to being a dad than putting food on the table, you dummy. They need your time, they need your love, they need your attention. So the first type of dad is the provider dad. It's good, but it's not enough, right? The second type of dad I put was the buddy dad. Somebody in the comments here, because we're live right now, somebody in the comments just said, trying to raise warrior poets, man. And that's absolutely right. I want to raise a kid that's ready to be able to provide for the needs of others. A man should have his own stuff so well dealt with. I've got my issues. I can take care of me well enough. I don't need to live in, on someone else's dime. I've got a job, and I'm hardworking, and I'm trying to be industrious and disciplined, and I'll take care of my own junk. And a man should be able to take care of their own junk well enough that they can take other people along and be able to carry the burdens of others. That's what I want to do as a man, not just my part, all the my wife, my kids, and the community as well. So part of it's being a good provider, and you want to be able to do that. And warrior poets, we want to be able to be good providers and good protectors. But man, there's so much more. As we want to raise good spouses, I want my sons to grow up and be romantic husbands, and I want them to be outstanding members of the community. I want them to accomplish. I want them to operate according to their own drive and ambition, whatever that means for them. Not what I had mapped out for them, but whatever path they choose to go at it and kill it with ambition and direction, and to be thrifty and smart, and to love people well, and to be a protector and provide. There's a whole lot that goes into it, and protection provision is simply not enough. The second type of dad I want to specify is the buddy dad. And buddy dad, maybe it doesn't sound quite as loving and affectionate enough, but I'm kind of putting it all in that junk drawer of stuff I'm thinking about. But buddy dads, they spend time with their kids, the time that kids desperately need. You spell love, Time. And I think that's corny, and it's absolutely true. What I've discovered as a younger dad, I've got a 4 and 6 year old right now, just turned 6. I discovered that if you pick up your children and body slam them on the bed or couch, they'll love you for it. That's basically all you have to do as a dad with little boys. Body slam kids, they love you. Squeal, daddy, do it again, and you're good to go. But anyway, I'm wrestling and tag and playing games and taking them to the zoo and trips and camping and whatever it is. But whatever they're into, that's what you're now into. So come along them and help them experience and do things. So anyway, I think there's the buddy dad, and as I'm playing with my kids, I recognize my dad was strong on the protector category and provision category, and he was real strong on the category I'm about to list, and that's the mentor dad. But the buddy dad, I mean, I don't have tons of memories of WrestleMania on the floor. I remember throwing frisbee with him some, but it was really my dad really majored on, and that's the thing is dads, we kind of pick an area that I'm talking about and major on it. When what I really want to be as a dad is I want to be more widespread. I want to be buddy dad, protector dad, provider dad, and also mentor dad. I want to be all these different things to my kids in a good balance, right? And I think that's going to be able to effectively raise warrior poets that aren't lopsided. Recognize, man, in some shape or form. I mean, your dad, your mom too, but today is Father's Day. Your dad leaves an indelible mark on your life that you're either running against the scars that were left, or you're embracing the encouragements and the positives as well, and you're able to grow. Man, a successful dad can throw you into a stratosphere of success. You can look at all the crime rates. And I did a video on this a while ago when I was dealing with all the different active shooter scenarios. And one big common denominator is fatherlessness. Growing up without your, dad, without that paternal male influence, just exponentially increases your chances that you're going to go to jail and develop alcoholism and all these different heinous crimes. The fatherlessness was one of the biggest, most kind of fatal common denominators that we're looking at. So we got to get that right. The third type of, and so the buddy dad, that's real big. Spending time, loving, emotionally available to kids. That's good stuff, guys. Do that. Be provider dad, protector provider, but be buddy dad as well. And the third one is be mentor dad. This is the one that's still in my current form when I've got an incredible relationship with my dad. Just got off the horn with him, saying Happy Father's Day, laughing and joking. But my dad, he majors on the mentorship aspect. He's like, life is hard. It's challenging. You got to be ambitious. You got to be driven. You got to be disciplined. You got to focus. You got to work hard. You got to be smart. And he's always kind of mentoring me. And now that I'm in business, he's always just helping me. He's the great mentor of my life, and he has been since I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, it was kind of like, I don't know, just as I started getting older, me and my dad started getting closer and closer and closer. I remember this is kind of fond memories of him being buddy dad, but it was kind of still in buddy dad mode. He was being mentor. And I was just a little boy, and we were playing soccer. I was going to play soccer game. And while all the other kids dance out onto the field, he'd hold me in the car, turn it off, and he'd be like, all right, close your eyes, son. And this is so corny, but I love it. This is such a fond memory for me. He'd say, close your eyes. And he'd be like, all right, you are the fastest kid out there. No one can touch you. You are going to be, and he just basically had me picture the whole game and picture my performance. And he would go into this stuff where he was really just, he was teaching me how to focus at a really early age. And I can still turn on that focus, something that was developed at a young age and perfected later on. That ability to master your mind and focus in on something was so pivotal. And then wrestling, I remember as I'm, dealing all these, pretty nerve-wracking championship type bouts in wrestling. He'd get high up in the bleachers. He wouldn't be down close. He wanted me to be able to, in a difficult moment where I just needed that boost, to look up and see him. And that's what I would do. And I would see him at some point. And he was this quiet strength for me. And he still is. Whew. Anyway, so That's mentor dad, and then also teaching me work ethic from as a young kid, going and doing all kinds of stuff at his business, where he was teaching me what it meant to work hard and be a man. Man, that's really important stuff. The mentorship aspect, guys. We're born into a world at war, and you can take that literally, or you can take that for a metaphor, but you can't coddle your kids. And I know my wife's proclivity is to nurture, and she wants to love my kids, and that's a real big deal. But I need my kids to experience some hardship. They need to fall down and get some bloody noses, and I need to say, hey, life is painful. We got to master that pain. We got to suck that up. And it doesn't mean I'm drill sergeant cold with them, and I'm not affectionate with them and love them. But it does mean I'm trying to prepare them for a very difficult life ahead. As life is tough, life is painful. Your path will be fraught with all kinds of dangers, pitfalls, disasters, betrayals, in a myriad of different things. And it's my job, my sacred duty as a job, as a dad, to be able to raise my kids, to be able to meet the challenges of the world, right? Not to coddle them and turn in these sissy children. I think the sissification of society is absolutely reprehensible. Where I think we are the weakest version of the American self that we have ever been. I think folks are whining, complaining, this whole social justice stuff. Sorry, that's probably, yeah. I don't want to make light of social problems, but there's a certain type of mantra of safe spaces, where the world is not a safe space. The world is not safe. And to require everyone to operate as if it was, and to change how they're going to be, so that we don't damage your very delicate constitution, and your just frail, uh, your frail mindset, is just silliness. It's kind of perpetual adolescence, where a child cries because the world isn't as it wants, and it just keeps crying until it panders to it, and that's just not going to happen. Anyway, guys, that's my big rant on the different types of dads. And since we're live, let's do questions in here. Let's hit it up. What are your questions? And by the way, happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. Awesome. Hope it's been a good one for you. I'm in Pennsylvania, so it'll be a few days before we celebrate Father's Day for me. Just say it. Nobody cares about their feelings. Um, yeah. Yep. Politicians will pretend to. Uh, cool. Hey, Tony, what's happening? If Travis Haley and John Lovell were co-daddied to you, I think that would make us. Yeah, that's awkward. Um, let's see. Any quick tips for RASP? Yeah, it's all a game. Don't take it too seriously. But man, don't quit. It's going to be tough. Just suck it up and drive on. Try to laugh at your own misery. Yeah. So how'd it go when you mocked Clint Smith? It went well. It went all right. Yeah, it took me a couple of takes because it was absolutely ridiculous. It was really funny. Uh, all right. Marines cuddle all the time. If it's cold enough, soldiers will cuddle. uh, let's see. All right. What else, guys? Laugh at your own misery. Thanks, man. That was a fun video for sure. All right. Give a shout out to Mama and Papa. Please give stories of Mama and Papa Poet. Let's see. All right. What are your questions, guys? What if none of your friends support Trump? I don't know. I'm not going to be too political, but I was working out in the hotel gym last night. And, I was in there for a while, killing it. Just kidding. But I was in there for 30, 45 minutes, and every story CNN ran was anti-Trump. And whether you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump, I'm like, CNN, there's other stuff. There's got to be other news stories than just Trump is the worst and everything he does is awful and all the world's problems are Trump. I'm like, holy cow. Come on, can you, just to mix it up, let's not say something about it. Let's do something. Uh, I'm not ignoring you, Sean K. There's just a bunch of comments, so um, it's hard to read them all real quick. Thoughts on Glock Gen 5? I reviewed it. I like the Gen 5. I wish the slide stop lever didn't stick out so far. It's not bad, but I worry it's going to lock to the rear, kind of like when I had put extended slide stop levers on normal Glocks. If you look at a Gen 4, Gen 3, Gen 2, whatever, the Gen 5 slide stop lever pops out just a little bit more. It hasn't been an issue, but I haven't shot them a ton. But I really like the Gen 5. It's good. What's your role model? Jesus, my dad, my wife, and then all these just tons of people of the past, of C.S. Lewis and G.K. Chestertons and Francis Schaeffer's and Charles Haddon Spurgeon's and C.T. Studd, and I mean just a whole bunch of those. And then there's all kinds of on the warrior side as well. But anyway. What's your favorite Pokemon? You know I've never seen Pokemon, of course. Come on. What are you reading? I'm reading a book called A Man Called Intrepid. A really cool book. And I'll probably do a review on it. It's The Secret War, authentic account of the most decisive intelligence operations of the World War II, and the super spy who controlled them all. So it's the guy who is head of the British intelligentsia for during World War II. Really, really interesting, eye-opening stuff. Vox Day in the future. Maybe I don't know Vox Day. Send me an email. MMP 2.0 is awesome. Love that. The book is backwards, bro. Sorry. Here you go. Yeah, so I will consider selling my training videos, but they'll be on my website, and we're working to develop subscriptions right now. Guys, make sure you check out my website. All kinds of cool stuff there, and so blogs as well. And anyway, lots of exciting stuff coming to the website that's going to be in the way of lots of video content that won't be anywhere else. What's your favorite book? The Bible. Did you throw any more rocks at Frost after I left? Yes, I'd throw today no, it was today in class. I had an old alumni, Frost, and anyway, I just really like him, and so I pick on him. That's what you do when dudes are friends with people. You make fun of them ruthlessly. Yeah, the definition of friendship is people that can make fun of you without getting beat up for it. That's what a friend is. If you're a dude. Not if you're a girl, but if you're a dude. And so anyway, whenever anything went wrong on the range, we'd all blame Frost. And so if he did something wrong, I'm like, dude, if you do that again, I'm gonna hit Frost with some rocks. And I know I'm instructing, and I'm supposed to be a real serious instructor, but sometimes I throw rocks at my students. And at Frost, I would throw handfuls of rocks. It's gravel, and he's gonna recover soon. He's out in the hospital in a couple days. So yeah. Let's see. Have you read Seven Pillars of Wisdom? I've read some of Seven Pillars of Wisdom. Yeah, and Lawrence of Arabia is a stud. Incredible what that man did. Incredible. I'm scrolling back through because I saw something that was cool stuff. Please keep the dad stuff coming. Cool. New dad. Hey, congrats, John McCarthy. That's awesome. All right, what else? Will you be shipping Warrior Code apparel to Europe? Yes, I will. We're working on a new website. It's almost ready, and it'll have international shipping. And I'll be in London in like 2 weeks, by the way. So if you guys want to hang out and you're in the London area, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, maybe we'll be able to link up. So what does the Bible say about killing in order to defeat evil? If you'll check out my website and go to blogs, I did a blog, and you'll have to go back a couple pages, and it's called Is Killing a Sin? And I go through all the theology and just different scriptures for killing. Suffice it to say, it would be a very evil thing for you to not kill when it is necessary. As Ecclesiastes 3 says, there's a time to kill and a time to heal, a time for peace and a time for war. It'd be very evil of you to sit by and let someone rape and murder your family because you refuse to kill them. That'd be a very evil thing of you to do. Yep, I know, Jafari, or I think that's your name. Yes. Krav Maga is awesome. I really like Krav. Cross-trained in Krav. Never got incredibly far, but I like Krav. California, sometime 2019. It's possible later part of 2018. Uh, don't ask me about any more states if y'all don't mind, guys. For training. Sorry, not to be high maintenance, Mr. Dark. Greatest warrior poet of all time, Jesus. Have you listened or watched the Jocko podcast? No. I've seen little pieces of it. I am tired, Tony. Sorry, I'm tired. But it was a Father's Day thing, and there's never really the perfect time for me to, or there's rarely the perfect time for me to do videos, especially when I'm on the road. But I've spent the last 3 days on the range. We're just pouring sweat today. And they're 8 hours of teaching, me teaching. So my voice is a little bit shot. I just did that for 3 days in a row, and tomorrow I'm back on the range for another 8 hours of training tomorrow. So I've been teaching all week, and I'm in a hotel right now. Awesome, Kane. I'll see you in Jefferson. That's awesome, man. Have you ever read J. Gresham Machen? Absolutely, I have. The man who saved Presbyterianism when it went crazy liberal. Incredible dude that was talking about Christian liberalism and the horrible effects that it has on good old doctrine. Hey, Vito, what's happening, brother? Good to see you. I love Vito. Vito's a buddy now. He's been to some classes, and man, we should. Mrs. Poet sees him come through orders all the time. He's like, "Who is Vito?" And so now we all know Vito because he rocks all our stuff. He's a patron. Thanks, buddy. I need attention. Hey, Outlander Times. Here's my attention. You sound like a midget. Well, there you go. Let's see. How should I perform a shoulder transition? Yeah, it's just I don't have a rifle in here right now. But tips for first time carry, man. Pura vida usted también. Qué bueno, my. E and E. Pura vida. That's awesome. Let's see. Do you watch Donut Operator? No, but I like the name enough that I feel like I should do that. Holler to the Duke family. Yo, Duke family. Ja, ja, ja. No, just kidding. It's ha, ha, ha. They don't pronounce the J's. Let's see. Let's see. Anything else? Cry JPC is a good carrier. Good stuff. I'm more of a Velocity. I'm doing Velocity. I really like it a lot. The backpack integration and the price points were really good. And so the Mayflower or Scarab light is what I've got. Let's see. Knoxville area. I do have Tennessee classes on the schedule, but they're sold out. Rangers lead the way. All the way, brother. All the way. Let's see. When they're really long, I start to get to them and then they're gone. Church security videos are soon. I am recording a whole series of church security videos. I'll put them on my website. I'll put teasers on YouTube, but I plan on putting, and this is probably 2 months out, maybe 3 months, but just tons of church security stuff to take your church from we know nothing to develop church security culture, code of ethics, security positions, standard operating procedures for all the different stuff that can go wrong, crafting a security plan, theology for security, just whatever you can think of, bomb threats and what to look for, the imbalanced zealots and the just all the different the pastor groupie, and I've identified a bunch of site profiles of the real sticky things that you got to look for as a church security member. So anyway, that stuff's rolling out in the nearish future. Yeah. Tips for being a Christian in the military. I did an entire video on it. Go check for it on YouTube. It's how to be a Christian in the military and whatnot. The very first thing I can do is, or say, and it doesn't sound very spiritual, is, dude, be really good at your job. Be awesome at your job and win respect. That's how dudes operate. If they don't respect you, they don't really care what you believe theologically, right? They don't care. They need to respect you, admire you, and then if they do that, maybe they'll ask, when did you find God? I didn't find God. God found me. I'm not playing with words. That's the best thing I could say. 19 years old, and I also did a video called Testimony of a Gunfighter. So go ahead and look that up on YouTube as well, and you'll check that out. All right. Do you have a favorite foreign military you worked with? I really liked working with SAS and SBS. That was really cool, real fun. Just the Brits in general. The Israelis were really cool. I've got some Israeli jump wings from jumping out of airplanes with Israelis. Really like the Israelis a lot. But anyway, I've worked with a whole bunch of different special ops units from all kinds of different militaries and whatnot. So I've worked with a whole lot of folks. Come visit Poland. I'd love to. Buy my plane ticket. Uh, Tier 1 holster is holding up awesome. Yeah, I love the Tier 1 holster. Guys, if y'all don't have it, check out my video on the Tier 1 holster. Check it out, and make sure you follow my link. Actually, in the bottom of this video, in the description, I remembered, there's links to my Patreon, my recommended gear. I just gave a huge facelift to my Amazon store, which has got all kinds of recommended gear, and it's down below in this video description. So Amazon store, Patreon, so you get early news on classes and some other just fun little content. But those are the people that support the channel. So if you're looking to get something rather than just support the movement, don't go there. And then let's see, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Tier 1 holster that I carry. Awesome. It is below in the video description. This is my baby right here. Oh, look at this hotness. Flexible. Hook helps bring it in. And this thing is the hotness. Amazon store looks great. Vito, don't spend all your money. just because I say it, don't do all of it. Take your wife out for a date and pass on some stuff. Thanks for the support, man. But balance. Favorite cigar? Man, I haven't had a good cigar in a long time. I smoke cigars and pipes every once in a while when it's kind of one of those kind of like camaraderie things, like fellowship type things. Yeah, anyway, like the great Charles Haddon Spurgeon and J. Gresham Machen, the great theologians of the past. I don't want to have any addictions of any kind except my spouse. Do I dislike 40 cal? If you can shoot a 40 well, you could shoot a 9 better. For a while, I went to 40 cal. I shot 40 for a while, but that's because I had a lot of federal agents who were buddies I was shooting with all the time. And they had a really rich uncle, and so I got a whole bunch of free ammo. And so if I shot 40, I shot free, and I'm like, well, I'll go 40. And I did that for a while, and when I went back to 9, it was really nice. And it was just working to manage recoil on 40. When I went to 9, I kind of was I was slaying, so it was pretty fun. But yeah, Glock 19, 9 mil. Favorite carry ammo is probably Federal HST or Corbon DPX. What I shoot is Fiocchi, and I couldn't recommend it higher enough. If you guys want good carry ammo, this stuff is very inexpensive, and it runs amazing. I never have any problems with it, and the powder burns clean. It's kind of all gold right there. And there's a link below in this video description. If you go down, click on Fiocchi, and you can get some ammo. There you go. Let's see. If you want a Glock, or if you want a optic right here, first off, before you go buy something, really you need to watch my video on red dot optics, because I don't want you to get it early if you shouldn't. There's lots of cons of why you should not have this. There's also pros that are really good too. So it may be you want an optic, but not yet. Trust me, watch the video first. If you like it, the links for this are below in the description, or check out my Amazon store right now, and it has this exact one. Get the one in my Amazon store, and if you got the money, get the Type 2. So this Type 2, adjustable LED only. Don't get the ones with the tritium built into it. It makes sense, but it's not good. Don't get that. Adjustable LED only, 3 1/4. If you want 6, just trust me, 3 1/4 is better. So Glock 42 or 42. That 42 and 42 are the same number. If you meant 43, then I'd say 43. Let's see. All right. All right, guys, I'm pretty beat, and I want to get on the horn with Mrs. Poet because I miss her. But anyway, happy Father's Day to all of you guys. I am signing out. Thanks so much for tuning in. And go ahead and share this with some folks. It'd be real cool if you shared this to your Facebook profile so you get the word out. I'd appreciate it because I do want, I don't usually ask for shares. You don't have to do that. But I think. I think the message here is important. I really want to aspire to be a good dad. I want to grow in that capacity, and I want us to, man. There's very few things you can do in life that would have more of a lasting legacy than just raise your kids well. That's what it is. Raising your kids well, that will outlast whatever job you're doing, whether you're a captain of industry or whatnot. It is raise your kids, do well. All right, guys, I am peacing out. Sua sponte. They're going to record. All right, cool. Hey, guys, train hard, train smart. Love you guys, and I'll see you later. Peace.